And we begin in the occupied West Bank, where Palestinian officials say about 3,000 people have fled their homes in the refugee camp in the town of Jenin since Israel started a major military operation there overnight between Sunday and Monday. The Israeli government says the counter-terrorism action will continue for as long as needed. Palestinian politicians have described it as an invasion. At least 9 Palestinians have been killed. Our Middle East correspondent Yolan Nell has the latest.
The day ended as it had begun in Jenin, with battles raging. The Israeli military had used a surprise drone strike in the early hours to target what it said was the headquarters of local militants. Armed Palestinians began fighting back from inside the city's crowded, decades-old refugee camp. Hundreds of Israeli soldiers are on the ground. The Israeli military says they're seizing weapons and explosives. The Israeli Prime Minister said action was overdue.
The Israeli Defence Force began an extensive operation last night against terrorism in Jenin. In recent months, Jenin has become a haven for terrorism. We're putting an end to it.
Palestinian medics have been struggling to reach the dozens of injured. Israel says it's acting on precise intelligence and doesn't seek to harm civilians, but many have been caught in the crossfire.
What's going on in the refugee camp is real war. There were strikes from the sky targeting it. Every time we drive in with our ambulances, we come back full with injured people.
You get those cracks of gunshots coming from the Jenin refugee camp, which is just up there on the hill. Sometimes we get loud explosions as well. Even though the Israeli military has said this is a closed zone, we're not allowed as journalists to get any closer. You can really get a sense from here of just how intense the fighting is. Israeli security forces released these pictures showing them rounding up suspected militants. In recent months, many Palestinians who've carried out deadly attacks on Israelis have come from this area. Others have hid here. And even before today, Jenin's seen repeated deadly Israeli army raids. Palestinian officials say enough is enough.
We are again calling the international world to provide urgent international protection to our people and impose penalties against the occupation regime.
And tonight, while this military operation isn't over yet, there was a reprieve for some Palestinian families. The Israeli military allowing them to leave the camp. Some raising their hands or waving makeshift white flags in a gesture of surrender.
Well, let's take a look at what's happening now in Jenin. This is live pictures of the area now where this military operation has been underway. It's just after 7 o'clock in the morning there. We'll be live to Jenin to speak to our correspondents covering this unrest. That'll be happening a little later here on BBC News.